Welcome, everybody, to episode 76 of UnHacked. I almost said 58, guys. Maybe the time warp's kicking in. I don't know. But, we show up here week after week with the ultimate goal of protecting businesses from game-ending cyber attacks. And I've said a while ago, technology for a while kind of got boring to me. I love technology because it constantly changes. And then it just stopped changing. It plateaued for, God, a decade? I don't know. And then AI hit, and holy hell, that's over. Now we're back to, I don't know which way's up. So we're going to help discover which way's up and then teach all you guys. I am Justin Shelley, CEO of Phoenix IT Advisors. And, at Phoenix IT, we help businesses build wealth with technology and then protect that wealth from all the hackers, notably the Russians, government fines and penalties, and class action lawsuits, because there is not a shortage of individuals out there trying to take our money from us. So that's what I do. And I am here with my loyal, faithful co-hosts and good friends, Bryan and Mario. Guys, tell everybody who you are, what you do, and who you do it for. Mario, you go first, and then Bryan, it's all yours.
Yeah, Mario Zaki, CEO of Mastech IT, located in cold as shit New Jersey right now. We've been in business for almost 22 years now, helping small businesses and owners sleep better at night, knowing that their businesses will be secure and safe and there the next day.
Mario, are you a South Park fan by chance?
Yeah, I haven't watched it in a while, but I am.
It's a Jersey thing. Does that ring any bells?
It is.
Right. That's all I got. Bryan.
Bryan Lachapelle with B4 Networks. We're based in, as Justin said, beautiful Ontario, Canada. We help business owners remove the headaches and frustration that come with dealing with technology and cybersecurity.
Beautiful. I mean, you can't leave that out because you say it every single time that you introduce yourself. So
beautiful, Niagara.
And then you start typing. I had to correct you. You start typing it out and you leave out beautiful. What the fuck?
I did leave.
Did it turn ugly? I mean, is it just because it's winter? I don't know. All right. Enough of my horseshit. Let's start talking about security. Guys, as I was prepping for this, I just stumbled upon a headline. This was new to me. I don't have any personal reason to care, but it definitely caught my attention. The courts have recently ruled that all of your chat history in AI is now available for discovery in legal issues. So everything you say in chat, in ChatGPT and whatever platform you use, you can delete those chats. But the courts just ruled they can pull them out and they can hold them against you. So that's your friendly tip of the week. Be careful what you put into ChatGPT. If you're planning crimes, don't give that away when you're using chat. So
they look at mine, they're gonna say like, "Wow, look at this idiot! He can't even write a simple letter."
I'm just gonna let everybody use my account, and that way they can't figure out what was mine and what was somebody else's.
I think they'll just blame all of it on you. I don't know that that's a great strategy.
We'll see.
You want to laugh? I use mine. My admin uses mine for creating like posts and stuff for like social media.
Oh, really?
My wife uses it to help the kids with like their homework and tests and stuff like that. So you look at my chat history, it's all over the place.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, now you're going to get sued for sharing an account where you're supposed to have a different account for everybody, I guess. I don't know. I have, this is way off track, but it's something weird about me. I swear like a sailor. And when I'm talking to ChatGPT, I won't say swear words in there. I don't know why it is. Like, I want to keep that conversation professional. And it's stupid because even with my clients, I'm not like that. I'll swear to them. I don't know. But somehow
I always say please and thank you because one day when they take over,
well, maybe
they remember I was the nice guy.
Maybe that's it. I have noticed that the Alexa version of, I have to be careful saying that because it's picking me up now. There's definitely a temperament involved. She gets a little sassy sometimes with us.
Interesting.
I don't know, guys. I don't know. I wish I had a crystal ball. Maybe not. Maybe it would scare the shit out of me. I don't know what the future holds, but oh my God, is technology an interesting game at the moment. So let's
Have you
talk.
seen sorry to cut you off. Have you seen the
No,
one in Teslas, the new Tesla ones, where
no,
I think they call it Unleashed, and it will literally just curse at you like, "Hey, dumbass, you just missed the exit. Pop the next
no
freaking
way.
Yeah, it literally,
Oh, that's beautiful.
it actually, people have been complaining that it needs to have like an option to, like, when you're hopping in, like, I have my kid in the car, tamed down, because it like, watch some videos. It's literally it's at another level of
Huh.
like profanity. Like, it makes you look like a little schoolgirl, Justin.
Well, listen, for a long time I've been saying that I wish that my GPS had a wife mode, so I could turn it on so that it could say shit like, "Hey, you just passed the exit there. I'm just curious, how the fuck do you drive when I'm not in the car with you? I don't know how you get anywhere without me telling you which way to go." That's like, why isn't it more realistic instead of
It's like that.
turn here, recalculating? That's not how it works. Anyways, all right. Now you got me all fired up, Mario. I don't like Tesla, but I'll go buy one just for that mode. Just so that the passenger can talk to me the way I'm used to, And P.S. I'm talking about my ex, not my current girl. So if she listens to these, I have to clarify. Anyways, guys, let's talk about something super exciting, because we're doing this multi-part series on just the baseline security. We talk about it all the time. We're going to be breaking it down for the next 10 to 12 weeks. Today, we're going to talk about identity and access control. I've specifically not named it passwords, because remember our episode on passwords that nobody listened to. But I'm going to introduce this way. It used to be, if we all rewind, we're all of us in this recording are old enough to remember the days when security meant a good firewall and strong passwords on the server. Period. Right? And backups, But that was pretty much it. That's all we needed. What's it look like today, guys? Where are we at with that? Is that enough? Do you even have firewalls anymore? There's a debate.
My favorite saying now is like, security is like an onion. You need all these layers, right? And so the layers just keep getting more and more and more.
All these layers in all these different places. It's not even just like one onion anymore. It's like a goddamn bag of onions, a truckload of onions.
Yeah, well, it used to be that you only had the network to protect, right? I'm in my office, I have to protect my network. Well, now people work from home, they work from airports, they work from all over the place, and some companies don't even have an office. And so, the network has now been expanded to everybody else's network.
Yeah,
Microsoft.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're not only rotating passwords, we're putting, just to get onto the server, we're putting an MFA on there. We're doing several things, and when we've always said, if security is convenient, you're doing it wrong. And it is sometimes just to hop on a server to check, like, change a simple password. It can take like 10 minutes to get through all the layers.
Yeah. Yeah, because back in the day, you could break into a firewall and then you were screwed. Like, if somebody got through your firewall, you were screwed. You could sit on your firewall and look at your logs, and you could see all those, pings that were coming through, somebody trying to brute force. I'm not saying that's gone away, but I don't know that that's the thing that scares me the most anymore. So now, instead of breaking into a firewall, what users, or what the bad guys are doing is they're getting a hold of logins, credentials, right? Username and password. So that becomes the very first thing that we have to look at when we're talking about baseline security is identity protection, access control. Let's lock down somebody being able to impersonate us. Do you guys remember, if we go way back to our episode on the MGM Grand? Like, that was the first episode we did together, right? Do you remember how the bad guys got in?
Thermometer in the fish tank.
But they impersonated somebody, didn't they?
Oh, I can't remember.
Or have they come up with new information? I don't know, because that was right after it happened. I actually went back and listened to that episode the other day on accident. YouTube just auto-played it for me. I was like, oh God, I remember this. Somebody.
Yeah. Now the gold standard is, like, if they can get into your Office 365 account, they've got everything. They've got your files. They got your email. They can impersonate you by sending messages to people. I mean, it's the holy grail if they can get into your 365 account, especially if it's somebody higher up in the food chain at the company that they breached into. They can start impersonating the they're either the president or the CFO or whatever the case may be.
And all they need is just a simple click. A simple click that could really go far.
So let's take this. We're going to go two routes with this. I try really hard to stay out of the weeds and not get too technical.
Yeah.
So I want to start with, we're talking to a business owner, CEO, like what do I need to know running my business to protect myself and my clients and my employees from a breach? Let's just talk about Microsoft 365. This is the one layer of one onion that we're going to talk about. Give me some things that I should know as a business owner, non-technical. What do you guys think?
I can give you 3, and then I'm sure you guys can add more. The password you're using for 365, if you're using a password still, because some people are using passkeys. If you're using a password, it should be a passphrase, something that's long. It doesn't have to be complex. The whole, use symbols, numbers, uppercase, lowercase, all that stuff has gone the way of the dodo bird. Now they're just talking about, a nice long phrase, maybe 5 words put together. If you have that and multi-factor authentication, then you're in a good place. But the third thing, so those are the 2 first ones. The third thing would be to put in place conditional access, which would be if you don't normally travel outside of your country, maybe lock it down that you can only log into your 365 account from within the borders of your country. That way, if an attacker's coming in from the outside, another country, they're trying to log into your 365 account, it'll automatically deny and log it and notify you. So that'd be the three main ones I would put in place right away.
Okay, Mario, what do you have to add to that?
Yeah, well, a couple things to add. I mean, with like Justin was, I'm sorry, it was like Bryan was just saying, like with, you can have multiple words. Most people don't realize they could actually put spaces in their passwords. So you could actually have something that you'll remember, like, the green sky is falling, something like that, and it'll be something you could remember. And by adding spaces and stuff like that, you're just adding an extra like special character, which makes it even more difficult to crack. So that's one thing. And then what I would do is, like what we do for all our customers is we add an extra layer of security with like a SOC team, like where they will inject more than just the conditional access, but it's based on the conditional access, So for example, denying them or alerting if a mailbox forwarding rule was created, because that's one of the things that hackers will do is they'll set up a mailbox forwarding to like themselves.
Yeah.
So we will get alerted if somebody, enables that. Even if they log in, I forgot what they call it. I mean, it is part of conditional access, but even if they're logging in at somewhere else in the country, like from New Jersey, and then all of a sudden they're logging in Las Vegas,
2 places that are far enough apart.
You can't travel in that period of time, it blocks. And I tell our customers, I rather apologize to you because something happened and we blocked you out from accessing your email than apologize to you because your email was compromised.
Geofencing, I think, is what that's called, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm going to add to all this. So those are solid. Especially talking to CEOs, business owners, we carry an ego with us. Don't be an admin. Like, just knock that off. Jesus Christ.
I have to have that conversation with people all the time. It's like, yeah, but I'm the boss. I should have access to everything. It's like, I'm the boss, and I don't have access to everything. I don't want access to everything. If I need it, I can ask for it.
It's a separate account. Don't ever fucking use it.
Right. That's what I have. I actually have a separate account as well.
Yeah. Same. I can't make changes in Microsoft with my account.
No.
And I have to go look up I don't even know the password for the admin account, and I have my own admin account and my techs have their own admin. Like, I don't know. I get so angry at clients that want to be admins and log in as admins and have their email, it's just like,
plus,
really bad.
Most people don't realize that you still need to back up your entire 365. They think that, because it's on Microsoft or the cloud, that it's safe, or that it's, something happens, we can just click a button and go back. Microsoft does not back up your shit. They say we don't back up your shit. You need a third party, company to back up your stuff.
Brian's got the phrase for that. Brian, do you remember this phrase you always share? Shared, what do you call it? Shared ownership, shared responsibility, shared. You don't say that anymore? Oh, God. Brian, I got to help you remember all of your catchphrases. Yeah, when we're talking about security.
Right. Yes, with 365, it's shared security or shared. It's a shared model. I can't remember the terminology used, but we're both responsible. We're they're responsible.
Like, we're doing some stuff, but ultimately, if it breaks, we're not going to claim it. We're not owning it. So
they're
you better do your
responsible
part.
for the infrastructure and how it's set up and the configuration, everything, and you're responsible for the data, right? Like you've got to make sure your data is backed up elsewhere, because if their infrastructure fails, they'll restore it to potentially a backup, but it might not be the most recent. It might be just whatever they have available. They back up their systems for themselves, not for you.
Yeah, and good luck trying to get in touch with Microsoft to do this.
What, you don't have them on speed dial?
I
do, but they don't. They have me blocked or something. They don't.
They don't even have a phone number.
We had one of them on the podcast. They're not that inaccessible.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
All right, guys. So we've got Microsoft. Oh, I said I wanted to start with, we're talking to business owners. What, let's say you're talking to your technicians or a peer, and what is it that, and talk to me, Brian, Mario. I'm a new guy in the IT world, and I work for you, and I'm going down to lock down our clients' accounts. What is it that I need to do?
Okay, well, one thing I would tell you if you were working for me, the very first thing would be if a client calls you and asks you to set up a shared account amongst 5 different staff members, the answer is absolutely not. It is very, very complex to manage one account that is shared between multiple staff members, and very rarely will the client ever call you to let you know one of those people have left or have quit the organization because, everybody else knows the password, so business as usual. No, that person months and months later can come back and still log in, and you would never know that they've accessed it because it's a shared account. So yeah, that would be one of the very first things, is do not allow a client to create a shared account. And if they do, then we have to send them a decline of service letter to let them know that, they're basically breaking every rule in the book. And if they get breached, it's on them, and their policies might not cover them.
Let me get you to clarify. So are you talking about the Microsoft shared inbox account type?
I'm not talking about a shared box. I'm talking about one account shared by multiple staff, one licensed user account versus a shared mailbox, which is totally okay if it's shared amongst 5 licensed users that each have their own independent login and password.
Just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, but we have clients all the time. Dentists are the worst for this. They all want their login and password to be like smiles and teeth. So if your password
that's not unique. I thought my dentist I thought my client was the only one that did that.
Nah. I mean, you walk in almost all the dentists I know around here, they all use teeth as their password or something, it's very clever like that. But we don't have very many dentists as clients anymore. But the ones we do are really great.
All right, Mario, you got anything to add to that on the technical level? Let's go ahead and get a little bit, get our hands dirty and talk about, what does a technician need to do to protect a client?
Well, first of all, they need to document everything, so that way they are, somebody else can look at it and understand the way, it was configured. But with security in mind, they have to understand that, when you're spinning up like a new tenant or something, a lot of that security is actually not enabled by default.
I know, it's crazy.
It's which I like. What I like about Google is a lot of that stuff is enabled by default. But with Microsoft, it's not enabled by default. You have to manually do it or get certain licenses that give you the ability to enable even more security. Not every license is equal.
Yeah. I think you kind of started to go there. I'm just going to say the word checklists. Where you're setting up anything that has to do with security, anything that's important. Let's learn from the aviation industry. Checklists. Make sure that they are done. We're going through some training. I don't know if you guys are going through it or not. It's available to all of us on operations. And that was one of the things in the training that they brought up, is how much they've, the aviation industry. And I'm a pilot. I haven't flown in a while, but so I can speak firsthand of this. checklists are a big deal, and lives have been saved. So many lives have been saved, accidents prevented because they implemented checklists. Now, doctors use it a lot, in healthcare it's used, and I wish it was more prominent in the world of IT. I think it's kind of getting a little bit of a foothold, but we got a ways to go there. We just have to do the same thing every time, and then, make improvements to that. But you can't leave it up to each individual to decide what it is that they're supposed to do to secure a client.
Exactly.
All right, so let's move on. One of you, I don't remember who, kind of touched on, but we already talked passwords. We touched on onboarding, offboarding employees. But let's talk. Well, I think it was you, Bryan. You're talking about these shared mailboxes. They're never going to call you up and tell you that one of the employees left. What are some best practices there? And again, we're talking to business owners, or the management, the people that are making policies for their employees, for their company. What do we need to worry about?
Well, from my perspective, there's a couple of things. One, when an organization, and often where it comes from, why they want to have a shared account is because they want one group of people, for example, the finance team, to have all access to a mailbox.
Right.
Very rarely do we get it where it's because the owner, and I'm going to use the word, they're just too damn cheap and they don't want to pay for extra licenses. Very rare is that the issue. And if that's the issue, then we have a whole different problem, because the amount of dollars it costs for an account is negligible in comparison to everything else, or the potential downfall, the potential risks. But there is ways of creating multiple different user accounts and all having access to one shared mailbox. And so
Right.
I would say best practices is if I'm talking to another business owner who's not in IT, I would say explain what you want as the end result, not how to get there. We get that a lot where somebody will call in and say, I want you to do this, this, and this. And they're basically describing something that goes against all practices, because the ultimate result they want is why, right? But they're saying, I need you to give me, create an account with a login and password. I'm going to share it amongst all my staff. And the answer is like, well, what are you trying to do? Well, I want everybody to access a mailbox. Okay, well, we can do that. We can create a mailbox and we can give access to all of your staff to that mailbox through their own individual accounts. So tell me what you want as the end result. I'll tell you how to get there. Right. Using industry best practices and using, it's like going into a doctor and saying, doctor, I want you to, cut me open over here to operate on my heart. No, the doctor's just going to do what his training tells him to do. You're just like, I need heart surgery. And,
I thought you were going to say, I want you to cut me over here to operate on my knee. That would have been a better.
Yeah, sure.
But
I'm not a doctor. I don't know.
It's the problem is too, it's a language barrier. And I don't know about your guys, but my guys tend to kind of just like have tunnel vision. They're trying to do what the ticket says or what the person's saying on the phone. So, a great example to build onto what Bryan is saying is like info@masstech.com. They want like an info at, and they think that if they create an info at, they want these people to be able to access it and stuff. So create me this mailbox and this. So the technicians kind of just want to do what the person wants. They're not like technicians are. They tend to sometimes lack that communication gift of conversating with somebody like, well, there's better ways to do this. We can do a distribution list, we could do a shared mailbox, we can do whatever without having to compromise security. So sometimes, and what I see is like, they're just trying to have like those tunnel vision, just get the ticket done, and they're following directions.
Yeah. All right. So we've kind of overlapped this with shared passwords, shared accounts. We're mostly talking on the framework of Office 365, though. And so I'm just going to clarify that this is also incredibly important on everything that you touch, everything that your users touch. So whether that is, if you've got cloud-based services outside of Office 365, we're talking about dentists, they all have some sort of practice management software. It's either going to live on a server or it's going to live in the cloud. It doesn't matter. Users need their own accounts. if you've got a workstation that you're logging into, whether it's a local user account or you have Active Directory, a server sitting on this, or you're using Microsoft ID for this, every user needs to have their own account. That said, I don't think that has ever been an easy fight to, it's a war every time I try to get a client to do this. When you pick up a new client, I mean, damn near 100% of the time there's shared accounts somewhere. And it's easy. It's what they're used to doing, and getting that to change is tough. So talk to me a little bit about it. Like if let's just say my workstation, we all have one account that we all use, and it's user one, password ABC, whatever it is. Maybe it's even a complex password. But then when we get to our other platforms, we all have our own accounts. Is that good?
No. No.
Why?
Okay.
Because now I've got to go and make a new account, and then they're going to change the desktop on it, and then this person logs in. The programs aren't there.
I use the bank analogy. I mean, would you imagine having 20 people in your office all having access to the same bank card, right? Where, how would you even be able to manage that? Like, who's spending the money? Who's doing what? There's no way to find out who charged what account with what. Like, you're all using the exact same bank card. Everybody knows the PIN number to it. Somebody just grabs it off the shelf, goes and buys something, comes back, drops off the bank card, puts it back. Like, it would be chaos, right? Like, that's just not the way you would want to run a business. It's the same thing with a desktop. Anybody who's logged into that desktop has access to everything that every user has access to, and where there's no differentiator as to who's done what, when, how, where. Right. So it's incredibly important from that perspective to secure it with individual logins and passwords.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here, right? Because even though I 100% agree with both of you, there are situations where it's not feasible for everybody to have a different log. And that's like in warehouses, like in manufacturing, if they're on a warehouse machine and they're trying to pull like inventory or whatever, and those computers are dedicated to just pull inventory, they stay logged in, and a user will just come up, look up the SKU number, where it is, go get it. There are some circumstances where it really is a pain in the ass to switch.
I'll actually go against you on that one. There's proximity-based detectors that will, as you walk up to a device, it automatically unlocks based on the fact that you have your phone with you, near-field communications, right? Or an access card. As soon as you walk up, it automatically detects you're within like 2 feet of the station and logs you in, and you have access right away. There are solutions. They're solutions. Not easy. The easy out is like everybody gets the same login and password. It just stays open.
Yeah, we had even fingerprint readers. We had a guest.
We had a guy on here that solved that very problem. But it is a problem. To be fair, it is a problem. And when we're talking to, we're trying to educate business owners, and guys, we're all business owners, so we know how goddamn complicated it is to just show up every day and keep things going, keep production the way it needs to be, and keep clients coming in and keep clients happy. I mean, it's like there is no lack of things to do. So am I really worried about a shared account somewhere? No. As a business owner, I'm probably not. However, Bryan, I do like your analogy of the bank card, because now we're talking a language that a business owner might understand. Yeah, I want to track where that money's going. And while they don't necessarily live in the world that you guys, that we live in, it is important to know who's doing what if we're going to solve problems.
Well, and the scary part is this: if it's a cloud-based service and you're sharing logins and passwords, now it's like having a bank card that anybody can access anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And so if somebody gets fired and you forget to change that password, they could still log into that cloud-based service from anywhere in the world. Right?
Absolutely.
And so
yeah.
Now you don't even know they logged in. You don't know who did it. Right. And we've had it happen where somebody's like, oh, well, somebody logged into the cloud account. And it's like, yeah, well, if you share a password, there's literally nothing you can do to stop that.
Now, what about, and again, I'm playing devil's advocate, not because I'm, disagreeing with you, but what about password management that lets you share the password with people, but using their own password manager, they can use that password? What do you think about that?
To me, it comes down to what is it being used for. If you're sharing, for example, a tool that allows you to log in and create a graphic, like maybe Adobe Cloud, whatever. I'm not suggesting you share passwords because it's probably against their terms and policies. But like, big deal. Like, if I just use it to go and license images off the web, damage is relatively minimal. But if it is my practice management solution that has all of my customers' X-rays and all of their medical health information, like, now you're probably breaking the law, right, by sharing a password. Like, come on, right? Like, it's, I guess at that point there, to answer your question, Mario, it becomes, what is the risk involved, and is the risk too great to have a shared password compared to the cost of just having a second account or a third account? Or
my point is, like, there are some platforms that kind of just have like one login, like you're logging in and you could only, you can't do multiple users for one account. My point is, if you're going to do it in a way where, kind of coming back to a couple minutes ago, Brian, when that employee leaves, you want to be able to kind of eliminate them from knowing that password. So if 10 people or 5 people or even 2 people know that password, at least do it in a smart way where you're using a password manager where you can easily prevent the person from A, seeing the password, and B, if they leave, you can you eliminate that password manager.
We call it, in our office, we call, when we let somebody go or somebody leaves the organization, doesn't matter whether they willingly leave or whether we let somebody go, there's a collective sigh that happens across the entire office the moment they walk out the door, because everybody's Wi-Fi passwords change, right? The entire office. And there's a collective sigh across the office, like, oh, again, right? Because it's automatic now. My staff knows the moment somebody walks out the door, passwords change because we share a Wi-Fi password. We don't have individual, like some places have, radius or anything. We haven't bothered because it's just so much easier to just change the password. But yeah, so I guess in a situation like that, as long as you have a process,
yes, exactly,
to change the password the moment that person walks out the door. But you have to understand and know that there is no tracking. You will not know who did what, when, where, how, if they share an account. And so depending on the situation, you might legally be required to have a unique login and password for some applications and some services.
Yeah, and again, I was not disagreeing with what you were saying. I 100% agree. But, I want to let people know, like, if you're going to do it, at least don't do it, don't fuck up the whole thing. Do it in a controlled environment kind of situation,
Yeah.
I mean, it really comes down to just knowing your risk, right? That's we've said, I think we all agree with this. Everything comes at a cost. There is a trade-off for every security measure. Nobody is going to do all of them. Nobody should do all of them. What matters is knowing what they are and weighing the cost and the benefit, and accepting, deciding what is your level of risk that you're going to accept. That's really what all this comes down to. There's a baseline standard. That's what we're talking about in the next few episodes. But even then, as a business owner, I will always say that, like, if you're talking about a specific control, and let's just say, that you're not an admin, your Office 365 account is not an admin account, right? And if I'm asked that question by a security professional, and I can either answer yes, that's good. I can answer no. Wait, yes, I'm an admin. That's bad. I can answer no, I'm not an admin. That's good. Or I can answer I don't know. And that's the absolute worst answer you can come up with, is not knowing what your risk is. I would much rather have somebody know their risk and decide against it than to just have no goddamn idea what's going on and think they're safe. Like, that in my mind is the absolute worst. Tying all of this back into, it really comes down to, this is closely tied to the HR team and the HR process. You have to know what your people do when you hire somebody. Know what software they're touching, know what tools they need, and have a process to bring them on properly, and have a process to walk them out the door properly, maybe including changing the Wi-Fi password for everybody in the company and pissing everybody off. Maybe. I don't know that I agree with you, Brian, but maybe.
No, we do it.
All right, guys, what have we missed where we're talking about access control and identity? Because this, I would argue, is, and also tell me if you think I'm wrong. Is this the number one thing people should worry about today?
It's one of the things that you should worry about today. I don't think there is a single one thing that people should look out for anymore, right? Just like in a business, you have, finance, you have marketing, you have sales, you have operations, and you have to work on all of them at the same time equally. I think it's the same in cybersecurity now. We've kind of gotten to a point now where, there's a little bit of everything, and we just got to be, doing a little bit all over the place. And I like to use the word journey because we can't all do it at the same time. So, find something to change and fix every single week or month or quarter, and tackle it step by step. Obviously there's the critical things, get them done as quickly as possible, but everything else, work on it over time.
Yeah. Well, let me ask another question. Is this uniquely and solely an IT function, what we've talked about today?
No, it can't be.
It's a culture thing.
Yeah.
It can't be IT only because we're not the ones who create logins and passwords in some applications and some tools. For example, I don't manage the electronic processing system for dentists. Like, they manage that themselves, right?
Yeah.
Like, they have an admin who logs into their system, creates user accounts, things like that. We manage the desktop and the servers and things like that. But there's applications that our clients are responsible for, right? CRA logins, or I don't know what you guys call it, the IRS logins, right? There's certain portals that we don't manage. So it's not an IT function. It's a policy that needs to be created across your company, and everybody needs to be aware and adhere to those policies.
Yeah.
It's a shared responsibility, Justin.
It's a shared responsibility, Bryan.
And the one thing too, I'm going to add on to that is you have to, even if the IT company is not managing something, keep them in the loop. I'll give you an example. We had a customer, and it was probably about a little less than a year ago. They contacted us and said that they were having an issue with their Dropbox account, and information was either removed or something like that. And we all looked at each other like, "What Dropbox account? Like, why are you guys using Dropbox? You have Microsoft. Everybody has OneDrive. Everybody has SharePoint. Why are you guys using Dropbox? And how long have you been using it? And why were we not aware of it?" So we weren't able to help them, with much of it. We tried to help with what we can, but we couldn't do whatever they were asking for because we had no clue. The only way we found out was after the fact, after the whole thing happened. If we would have known, we probably would have advised, in some way or another. If you're insisting on Dropbox, make sure